Oh, my phone mic? Okay. Let me know when you can see my screen. Share this window. Share entire screen. My God, Discord is so different. Okay, you can see my screen, yeah?
Yes.
All right. So, NeurIPS, we're talking about NeurIPS today and just kind of giving people who are newbies an orientation to NeurIPS. NeurIPS is the Neural Information Processing Systems Conference. It's been around for 38 years now, which means it started in what is it? It's 80 something. It is as old as I am, which is very sad. And so this year, it's always the last conference of the year. Fun fact, NeurIPS 2022 was when ChatGPT dropped last year, at least in 2022. So that was a very fun experience to be like sort of living through because everyone at NeurIPS in 2022 was kind of clued into NLP and the rest of the world was not. And everyone was like, why are people so excited about this? Like we've had this for a while. Anyway, this year, you kind of go to neurips.cc. There is a conference site. Here it is. So this is where you actually go to get the orientation. And by the way, Sam, like this is basically for you. Anyone like actually going? I will also talk for people who are not going, but you know, you should know. Like I'll tell you what you should know. So there's a lot of like logistical stuff. Basically, just pick up your badges. It is a whole week usually, but usually then the days are not equally weighted. The Monday is typically like the affinity or kind of like a wash day, like for like the small little fun events like Latinx and AI, and there's like always like some art stuff going on. Black like this is an identity group things going on. They moved it this year because of Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is performing here, so the whole city's booked out. So they moved everything one day.
That woman moves economies.
Yeah. So my favorite fun fact about her is that she upgraded the GDP forecast of Singapore by staying too long. So that's fun. Yeah. So the real day is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then there are workshop days. This year there's 2 workshop days. I don't remember how many days there were last year, but typically there's only 1 workshop day. Here there's 2. So most people come for the talks, and then like half the audience peace out for workshops. But then the people who are like kind of insiders typically say that the workshop days are the best days. The reason is the NeurIPS papers that are submitted for review and presentation and all that are typically like 6 to 12 months old, and the workshops are the opportunities to present stuff that are actually still current. So that's one thing. The other thing is that workshops are basically all mini conferences. They're all run by people who are leaders in their field. So for example, let's do the self-supervised thing. So these folks have been picked to run this track, and then they would invite speakers that they.
Did Sean cut out?
I was just trying to figure out if that was me or if that
No.
was Sean, but
That's him.
looks like it was Sean.
Are you coming to NeurIPS? Is anyone going to NeurIPS?
I think Sam is. He was the one asking about intro stuff. Anybody else coming?
I know Sam's going. Ooh, they're sponsoring NeurIPS. Wow. Sam, share your event. We'll attend.
I did not get my act together to do that. Maybe next year.
Yeah, this year was interesting. There was a whole lottery system. It
Oversubscribed.
Yeah.
Press play or resume.
Has Sean shared the event that we're doing at NeurIPS? Next week's Paper Club, we're doing a live edition with NeurIPS, so we have a bunch of speakers and fun stuff lined up.
That should be fun. Were you there last year? Do you want to keep the train going? Explain what it's like.
Was not there last year. We'll be there this year, but there's a lot of side events. There's a NeurIPS calendar of events. There's a lot of group chats that pop up. For people in SF, there's a pregame event on Sunday, so Sean will be there too. But yeah, on Sunday we have a pregame here in SF. I can drop the link in the chat, and then we'll live stream our event. It's like a full day thing next Wednesday. It'll take over Paper Club, but yeah, we have speakers
From 10 years ago at this conference.
Oh,
Hi.
he came back.
Oh, is that Vibu?
Yeah.
Wait, can you hear me now? Was I not
you're back.
audible?
You were out for the whole like 5 minutes, bro.
Oh shit.
You've been
okay.
out for a while.
You you could not see my screen?
Nope, you couldn't
Everything
hear
was
you either.
frozen.
Oh god damn it. Okay, so should I repeat everything I just said?
Yes. For
I
like
would
the last
recommend it.
time. Loki
Fine.
restart. You said
Loki-
Taylor Swift
You'll say
pushed
it better the second time anyway, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Oh god. Okay, so where do I start? Okay, so
Latinx
talked-
events happen. That's it. There's little things people go for.
Oh, and that
the-
workshops were mini conferences, and the
Yeah.
papers are
Okay,
6 to 12 months old, which is like, what even was that? That was pre-Sonnet. That was what?
Yeah, pre-Sonnet. Yeah. So if you look at the schedule, you can see oh no, not the 2024. There's like all these dates, right? So the conference submission dates, the papers are due May. That's when everything has to be in by May. So like everything after May is basically not considered. So yeah. Okay, so what do you need to know? Basically, there's like 3 days of content. Usually, sometimes there's 4. But basically, there's an oral session in the morning. There's always like big talk, right? Big talk, big talk, big talk. And then they also have a middle talk as well. One of these. So Fei Lee is the big one here on Monday. I think we're going to be missing this because of the Latent Space Live, but all of these are recorded, which is why I like these are giant talks. These are like 4,000 people in one room talks. So like you never get anything apart from just you're looking at a screen. And then there's oral sessions, right? So all of these are like where people actually present stuff, and you get to talk to them, right? So the oral sessions are considered to be honors that they get selected to present an oral session. So these are better papers than most, right? And then afterwards, you can get to go talk to them in the poster sessions. Poster sessions have something to the order of 500 to 600 papers per session. It is a fuck ton. There's no way you can get all of them. Maybe these are 1,000. I don't know how many papers are presented, but typically like hundreds. So then you have to just develop the skill of like going through and like just bookmarking. So this is literally what I do every morning. I wake up, I go through the sessions, and I look at the titles, look at the authors sometimes, and then abstract. And if they look interesting, I hate text detection, so I'll never bookmark this. But if it looks interesting, I'll just bookmark it, and then I'll have a short list at the end. And the app that they give you is pretty good at surfacing the short list, but they're not very good at recommending. They don't have any semantic search. So often you have to rely on like third-party systems. So Cerebras did one with this. Last year they also did it at EXA. So now you can rag on these things. Where's the here? Like show me papers on consistency models. So typically all the RAG vendors will kind of show off their tech by building these kind of custom sites. So you can just always view these. Closer, there's also other people that do embeddings of stuff. So we like to use these. Where's the tooling for these? So like obviously machine learning people like to do tooling of their sites. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where I put the link. I definitely put the link somewhere.
Hey,
Oh.
for
rag vendors posting cool stuff. There's this one AI news that like condenses news. Is that one doing any cool stuff around NeurIPS?
No, we're
More
just
on
doing
Wed-Fri.
we're just doing a conference.
Okay,
But
that's
yeah,
good. We have a conference.
these guys do this every year. So at some point they'll announce it 2024. I don't think I've seen it yet, so they haven't done it yet. Oh, they already did it. Nice. Okay, well you can use the 2024 version. And so if like you're interested in like I don't know Whisper, you can just filter. Oh, no Whisper papers. Oh, uh, yeah. So you can see some diffusion stuff here, and then just kind of highlight it. Cool. What else do you want to know about how to navigate these things? I can also show you like images. So this is what a poster session looks like. So this is Hao Tian, who made Lava and now works at XAI. I interviewed him. This is Andrew Ng, also presenting another paper. This is I have no idea. This is Jeremy Howard and us talking. What else? Shun Yu, who's also been on the podcast. This is him presenting Tree of Thought. This is Meta. Like so the companies will typically have booths as well. And there's sort of like a booth section. And I think it's underrated to explore with them. This is Senpai. My one photo with him. This is what an oral session looks like. Basically, just like a giant, like everyone's like standing room only on the sides. And people just kind of go up and present their paper. It's a very, very polished talk. It's all recorded, so there's really like you can skip it if you want. Part of my insight on why I'm doing the Latent Space Live is like basically this is recorded. This is recorded. Like this is recorded. This is recorded. Like the only stand around and talk time is basically like 11 to noon, 11 to 1. And so the rest of the time you can just skip out to do literally anything else. So so that's why like we can just hold our own side conference and it'll be interesting. So like so far I think 500 people are signed up to our event. Okay,
So
yeah,
the
thanks.
poster sessions made me remind you. So that I've only ever seen that in very academic contexts. To what extent does this end up feeling like an academic conference versus an industry conference? Like what?
Very, very. It's like 90% academic.
Okay, but you mentioned a lot of the folks, or the folks that you mentioned were representing companies, not
Yeah.
universities.
And that's because of my focus, right? Like I will tend to seek out the industry people.
Got it.
But literally, basically, NeurIPS is a meat market for grad students, right? Like these are all graduating PhDs, right? They are on the job market. They either want academic positions or they want to be hired by one of the big labs. So they're basically just doing this so they can be picked up by one of the big labs. So Stability will pick them up, or OpenAI, or one of the other guys. I really liked her. So she's at the end of this episode. She is not that famous, but she's a very good speaker. So I intend to invite her someday to one of the conferences that we do. Yeah. I have better pictures, but I mean, I would have to kind of go through my photo library for that. But then it's really up to you. Like there's basically like very, very little curation in a way that you would like as an engineer. It's very oriented towards academia, right? So they have a thing on learning theory. Like I would skip the whole thing, right? Because I don't care about optimal parallelization or boosting. But if they have something on like grokking is typically useful. And like I would just kind of like go through this and look for things that I've either heard of or like is in a domain that I know I'm interested in. Basically, this would be the only one I do, and probably I'm just gonna skip the whole thing. Let's look at Thursday. This one seems interesting. Like sometimes you like I would just kind of like just open up the abstract and come here and see the open review. You can also see the poster. I think the open review is the best thing to see because it's basically archive but better. They have the discussions as well that you can sort of talk about, and you can see their rebuttals and all that. But typically, like I just kind of read the abstract and try to gauge my level of interest. So really the skill here is to very rapidly classify the stuff that is going to be interesting and useful for you. So like I have basically disregarded graph neural networks. I have basically disregarded in most of interpretability and optimization. This one, oh yeah, okay, this one I have to go. Oh God, it's on a Wednesday. So this is the Fazio paper. It's got a lot of buzz, and obviously that was an oral paper. And what else? Yeah, so it's basically like this for three days, and then workshop days are slightly different. They're more like mini conferences, and that's about it. There's a ton of stuff in the afternoons, so in the evening. So what's not on this schedule is all the after parties. Typically the big labs will take Thursday, Friday, and then like the other guys will do other things on other days. And then most people leave by the weekend, so typically there's less stuff on the weekends. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if this is like enough. Oh, I can show you uh the startup side of things. Yeah. I have better pictures here, I think. Nope, I don't have better pictures here. Oops. Um hmm. Well, I'll try to do better pictures next time. Maybe I have better pictures. No, I don't have better pictures. But it's basically a lot of reading, and it's like a lot of the best papers of the year, like what? Uh, this one. What was this? This was yeah, this is just more this is more like more paper sessions, some socials. Yeah, so for example, this is the kind of dinner that will happen on the sidelines. This is where I met what would eventually become Black Forest Labs. They didn't have a name at the time. But these guys like this is where you find out that like the stable diffusion team has left stable staff stability and are forming a new company is all these little industry chit chat dinners. That's Noam presenting his off the record reasoning talk at iClear. Yeah, so like you just get like a lot of like I guess industry alpha just from this stuff, and I think it's kind of cool. This guy we just had on, he went on to do LMSys. And now he's the guy who did style control. Like he's the stats guy for LMSys. So when you see the leaderboard, um, where's the LM arena they call it? Like we literally had him on the podcast, so you can see him there. But when you see the leaderboard, you see style control. He's the guy that decides what style control means. Because he's the stats guy. Like I actually recorded his whole talk. He's a very very compelling speaker, but it's so theoretical that like I couldn't publish it, so I skipped it. Yeah. More questions? Oh, and then and so for me, the fun task is to format this into things that engineers would understand. So for me, I have to dumb it down to be like, okay, section A is on image gen, compression, and adversarial attacks. Section B is on vision. Section C is on transformers techniques. Section D is on post transformers. But they don't present it so cleanly here, and you just have to make sense of these, because some of them will be called uh, like the workshop of machine learning and compression. Some of these are like randomly have like super good speakers, but you have to like look at the list. I bet you one of these are, yeah, nothing jumps out at me immediately here. But like they're basically just all scattered all over the place because they don't organize things the way that you necessarily would care about as an engineer, and you kind of have to create your own schedule based on navigating this very well.
So related to that, I think a lot of folks who are engineers may have never been to an academic conference. What are the other things that are different if you've been to like some industry conferences? What else will you notice that feels weird? Like we mentioned poster sessions, organization of content is less applicable, but what else?
It's definitely low budget. I have sent around man, like yeah, like the food sucks. Like the tickets tickets are cheaper per day, like yeah, so like everything's just lower budget. I have photos here, but I don't know if I can show you. Let me just Vienna. Okay. There were like the entertainment was like stilt walkers. Okay, I'm gonna send this to my computer so I can show you guys. AirDrop. Here we go. Yeah, I mean it's just like a little like it's definitely just meant to be bare bones for people to play and like sorry to yeah. So this is the lunch hall. It's just a mass of people. This counts as entertainment. And it's just a whole bunch of slightly scruffy grad students walking around and awkwardly making eye contact. But it's massive. So iClear is like the third largest, and this was like already 7,000 people. NeurIPS is more than twice that size. So it's bad. It's big. Yeah, I don't know if this is useful at all. By the way, I'm just giving you a sense of what it looks like. It's nice to hold meetups. Yeah, it's nice to hold meetups basically. At where like that's why like people like to host side events. So I think if you go to like our Discord, you can see the NeurIPS list that people have. This would be more industry, I guess. Yeah. Sorry, I don't think I'm answering your question anymore. I'm just kind of riffing on like all the happy hours that people are doing. Yeah, I don't think I'm selling it
Back
very
is
well.
your schedule.
No,
Huh?
I mean, it is a reminder too of like how even at industry conferences, right? Like the true value, occasionally there's a talk there where there's a ton of value, or a workshop, but most of the value is in the hanging out with people who are in your space and learning what's happening that nobody's talking about.
Yeah, like I think also you do it wrong if you only see people that you know. Part of it is also like trying to discover things that you would not have come across otherwise. So I have this scenario. Let me see if I can see it. I can find a map for you. Is there a map? A map. Uh, does anyone know where the map is? Oh, 3D map. There we go. Haha. Okay. They all look the same. Like I've been to like 3 of these, and like it's shocking how like it doesn't really matter what city you're in. They're all the same. Um, oh, okay, but I don't know. I can't tell where to go from here. Okay, I don't think this is helpful. Oh, okay, I can just kind of zoom out. Let's say, okay, it's probably here. Um, so like, classically, there's also like a really interesting like physical geometry to how these things are done. Okay, let's say these are the halls. No, this is not it. Okay, let's say this. This looks like it leads into a hall. What goes in here? No. 3. Okay. So typically these would be the expos. Why don't they let us in here? Yeah. Okay. It's surrounding a thing. Like the thing inside is actually what we want, and for some reason they're not showing us. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah. Oh my God, yeah. So this would be where they put all the posters, and it would just be row after row after row, and you just have like numbers assigned to you. It's like very very inhumane. It's a total meat market. Literally, like people are just yelling at the top of their lungs about their paper nonstop for 3 hours. It's really bad. Like the part of the reason my part of my pitch for latent space is I walk up to them and I say you can spend the next 3 hours talking about your paper to like 100 people, or you can talk to me and like, well, I'll blast it out to 60,000 people, and then they're very happy to talk to me. So that's the rough pitch. And then the other thing, I always find it very, very interesting, right? So when you walk in, so let's say these are the main rooms. The main papers, the sort of best papers, the spotlight papers will all be here, like kind of down the row and then horizontal. And then like the really like no riz, like nobody likes them papers are all the way at the back, right? So usually that's correct. Usually they kind of suck and they know it. But sometimes you find the diamonds in the rough. And so like Ina, where is she? Um she was all the way at the back. She like has no riz. But like the bunch of us here, we like came across her. She was like, "Okay, do you guys want me to start explaining my paper?" We like nodded yes. We ended up staying for 30 minutes just listening to her talk because she's that good. So she's at the end of this podcast. That's Ida. But like, yeah, I mean, it's hard to find these, but it's also kind of rewarding because like you know about people that like these are the famous ones that everyone knows, right? And then like you're kind of going there to like kind of treasure hunt in the back rooms of the poster sessions. All right. Anything else? Any other questions? Good. Okay. Wait. Can you still hear me? I have no.
Yes.
I don't. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you're still coming
Um,
through.
I mean, yeah. I feel like there's not that much unless we start like literally start doing like live conference prep here. Um, one thing. Yeah. Um, they check badges, but you can pay a lost badge fee, and this is 1/10 the cost of a totally new badge. So make of that what you will. Okay, so the so yeah, I mean
Have
like
you
we
done
we
your
can basically
conference prep?
no, I just said like I do conference prep the day of. Like I've done I've done
Oh,
enough of
okay.
this. But like I definitely think that you should like prior to each day you go through each paper session. So there's post session 1, 2, and then 3, 4 basically. Everything else is recorded. These are the only things that are not recorded. Um, and then you go and bookmark the stuff that you want to go see, and you go talk to them. And realistically, the if you so there's a little bit of a mechanic as well. So in terms of let's say the oral session, so the let's say this is the afternoon session, or afternoon session starts at 3:30. Agents will be very popular, so you want to be there early. And for example, let's say what's a famous paper? So remember how I marked out the famous paper for Aaron DeFazio? So this guy's definitely super famous. He's gonna finish his oral session at 11, and then the paper starts at the poster session starts at 11, right? What people typically do, because they know this guy's gonna be mobbed, is you leave at like 10:30, 10:45, and you like camp at his poster session. Like you find his poster session so that you can chat with him, because otherwise there will be like 300 people in front of you and there's no way you can talk to the guy. So it's like a really stupid game theory for the popular papers. And then there'll be like entire classes of people with like no questions at all. It's very sad. They're just standing there, um, with a bored expression scrolling TikTok.
Back in the day, I used to look up all the speakers on Twitter and like try to arrange the ones that I was interested in and be like, hey, I'm going to be at this conference. Like, I'd love to talk with you about this. And it helps if you're a speaker or have some other reason why they'd want to talk with you. I don't know if that still works in the X world, and Blue Sky doesn't seem to be there yet, but I'm curious, like, do
Yeah.
you do any outreach to the people that you want to talk to?
Yeah, I've done a couple of that. Yeah, they'll still meet with you, especially during like the later parts of the day, the conference. The earlier parts usually they're like after a postal session they're exhausted because they've just talked for 3 hours. Um, yeah, but yeah, they'll meet with you, especially if you have something interesting, or they want something from you. I don't know. I would say like
They'll meet
basically,
with you, Sean, because you're like, oh, I'm from latent space.
well, initially when I did the first one, no one cared, and then like increasingly they've heard of it. So you know, Yannick does a really good. I want to highlight Yannick. Yannick, future NeurIPS. He does walkthroughs, which is kind of nice. So you can watch these. Probably these are better. I don't like his questions. His questions are kind of passive aggressive. They're like definitely like he's like making fun of them in front of them. But he's like he walks around and he explains people's papers. It really is so low tech like this. It's really low tech. In a perfect world, I would get everyone screens so they can step through PowerPoints and stuff, because this is has not changed for 40 years, and it's definitely too old school. Like it's not a machine learning thing. But yeah, it's literally yelling. Let's see if we can find like a busy paper. It looks like he doesn't do busy papers. He's like one-on-one with all these guys. There are definitely the ones where like it's a complete meat market. It's very funny. Vendor hall. Okay. Anyway, so Yannick's pretty good. He'll pick up papers, but like I don't think he's very selective. Like, who gives a shit about graph circuits? Nobody does. So wow, he spent like 8 minutes on this. Typically, a good grad student will be able to explain their stuff in 2 minutes, so they can move on, or they can pause for feedback and take it where you want to go. Yeah, eight is kind of long. This guy took 14, 15. Jeez, yeah, way too long.
What if it was just a good paper, man?
No way. Anything graph is.
Circuits. Ooh. I agree, though.
Yeah, knowledge distillation papers also always a waste of time. They're never good. I'm sorry. Privacy stuff, waste of time. Yeah, this whole thing's a miss. So yeah, I mean, you just like need a very good classifier for stuff you're interested in. Obviously, my preferences are different from your preferences. But like yeah, like stuff like this, immediately arrow in, like it's gonna be good. Sasha Rush is probably here. Oh, you can people that you want to see, right? You can just like type in, right? So Sasha Rush. So you can see the stuff that he's doing. Oh, here. Yeah, there's 2 levels of filters. Sasha Rush. So you want to make sure you don't miss. Oh, he's not here. Yeah.
All your search filters have failed today.
Huh?
All the search filters have failed.
Yeah. So Lillian's presenting on this. Yeah, like you just type in like people that you know and see what they're up to. John Frankel. John is definitely going to present his scaling law thing. Nope. Oh, he's not. He's not even going. Yeah, Abhi's not going. Who else is going? Oh God. What's his name? Nathan Lambert. Yep, he's got a bunch of stuff. I think they've got a best paper or like one of these. So yeah, Nathan's got a bunch of stuff. Yeah, Omo will be good. So see, Omo's more recent paper, therefore it's a workshop. So people typically always stay for the workshops if they know what they're doing. System 2, Chris Manning is So typically, also it's also really funny. I think you start to see sort of the apprenticeship model of NeurIPS when you see who the last authors are. Typically, people emphasize the first authors because they did the work, but the last authors are the people who curated it and encouraged it and mentored it. So they're the more senior people, and typically they actually show up and stand next to the grad student. So let's see if I can see any examples of this. Usually, sometimes these are solo. Okay. So here's an example of a paper where there's 2 students and one of them, typically like their professor or their senior advisor is going to be hovering around them, just kind of watching them and encouraging them. So I think it's very wholesome. It's basically like this is how you encourage the next generation. You teach the next generation to I can't really see. So for example, maybe this guy would be like an advisor kind of just standing around, or it's more likely that he's just advising the next. He's author the next paper. But yeah, like typically the last author or second last is the advisor to this thing, and they'll be standing around, and they're the actual big name. So it was very funny. Last year's NeurIPS, there's this guy who's like kind of a rock star. I forget his name, like a German dude. Mark something. Like the paper author was standing here trying to explain things, but like nobody was paying attention to him. They all just crowded at the professor, not talking about the paper. They just used it as an excuse to talk to that professor, which is kind of funny. Anyway, you just get to know people. You just get to know people behind the scenes. Is this useful at all? I definitely think that the name search tip is top tier tip. Like I actually it took me a while to figure this one out. So yeah. Luca, we have speaking for us, so that'd be really cool. Oh my god, so many people here. Why was Doe Kila in Olmo? What the hell? Okay. Yeah, more questions. Hello. I think there's also some alpha in like you marking out your best papers. So everyone, it's like NeurIPS will come up with a list of best papers. Obviously, you should like check those things out. There's a little bit of a curse of best papers in the sense that so this was a best paper last year. Not every best paper is the best paper. It is just best paper by the 5 or 6 people that rated it. Yeah. This one definitely best paper. This one, yeah. Also this one very funny. This one came in after their after the cutoff. I don't know how they fast tracked it, but like they like apparently they knew that this is going to be good, so they just fast tracked it through the process because otherwise they would not have made it for last year's NeurIPS.
I don't know if they do this for papers, but certainly at some of the conferences I've helped organize, right? You have your eye on people where you're like, I want them, and so you're reaching out with them, and you're willing to be a lot more.
Yeah. So the Quen QWQ guy, I just booked him for the Singapore conference that I'm running. Somewhere I booked him last night. So yeah, I mean, there's people that you definitely want to show up, but like I think like basically like for a top tier conference, like anyone who gets a paper accepted, they're gonna show up, like because you worked on it, right? Like you and they're exclusive too. You can't like double submit. So so there are real stakes to this. What else? I don't know. I've never been to a single tutorial. Um, they all look like this. I guess like not relevant for us. It's also even weird, like all the structured data, watermarking always a bad idea. All the structured data talks in these conferences, like 3 out of 3, every time we go into a structured data talk, they all suck. Like the academics don't know how to talk about structured data for some reason. All of them are like the worst is when they call it tabular data. Then you know it really sucks. I have no idea why. Like it's just like I feel like they don't have an appreciation for how to make it relevant for engineers. So
Well, and there's sort of an interesting thing there, right? Like if you look at more traditional computer science, not in the machine learning space, like if you go to an academic conference, it's like completely outdated and not relevant unless you're way down deep in some very tiny niche. Machine learning, that hasn't been as true because there's been so much, but I'm curious if we're getting to the place where the industry is just way beyond what's happening in academia.
yeah, we will. I mean, you know, I definitely think there's ways to innovate here. You know, like this thing has been basically the same format for 38 years. So I think there's ways to innovate. And these guys are definitely trying. Like the workshops are a way to try it. Journal track, creative AI track. They're all trying to address different needs that are not being addressed. Oh, Flash Attention 3 is here. Yeah. So you can see like Treedao, like he like is now just mostly supervising, whereas the next set of grad students are all coming up with them. So then you can, it's like Treedao definitely is working on like or you can see like maybe Albert Gu. Albert. So he'll be on all the Mamba stuff. Yeah. I was trying to show you guys the high school track. People this for the first time there's high schoolers submitting to NeurIPS and people making fun of that. But I don't know where to see it. It's like high school. There are a lot of memes about the high school track, like yeah, including like people like NeurIPS for babies was kind of a fun meme. NeurIPS high school track. Yeah. Oh, that's kind of cute. Yeah, it's really cool. All right, sorry. I feel like I've run out of things to say. What else do people want to know?
Anyone
Or
else have questions about
I
NeurIPS?
want to see the screen.
Talk about the parties, dude. Which ones are worth? What are the good ones?
OpenAI.
How do you filter the 12 things happening? OpenAI. Okay.
Okay, let's do a live exercise of party selection.
Who's
I'm very
burning the most VC funds on parties?
exactly. Stability used to be very good. I expect they're dead now. Oh, where's the NeurIPS? Oh, NeurIPS. Wait, where's the NeurIPS? Oh, here, this one. Let's see. Don't know. Yeah. So basically, like big labs, with like notable like tier one VC, usually good. Pika does good parties, but extremely full, extremely like crowded. So like I don't tend to stay very long. Khosla and Cognition will be interesting. I am surprised they're there. This one will be hopefully okay. Cerebrus. Yeah, so some of these are gated, like MIT stuff. Yeah, I don't think this is a full list. There's more lists. There's like a Luma NeurIPS tag, so you can look here as well. So there's a social chair. Oh, that's another thing. All these guys are, so we try to reach out to them to organize with them. So if you see the is there like an about page? Organizers, there we go. All these are chairs. Lester is a professor. It's really interesting. Like they all like this thing's been around for 38 years. I don't actually know who runs it because it's just kind of rotating chair. Like this dude just volunteered this time to be chair of NeurIPS, but like every year it's different. Angela Fan, she led the training for Llama 2, and now she's program chair. Who else? I don't recognize any of the other names. Yeah. I don't know. So social chair, this guy. Of course you get this guy to do social chair. So basically you kind of have to register with him if you want to do like a officially affiliated event. We didn't make the cutoff. But Alan did from our Discord, and so we're gonna do that. And but yeah, these are all the socials. I would say like, and yeah, anyone with a lot of money that is willing to blow it on like something crazy like a fish and steakhouse, or Barry's boot camp. Someone's doing Barry's. Yeah, like I don't know. You just have like some keywords that for me, like anything crypto, I don't do. Anything that is safety, I don't do. Yeah, very easy.
You stay safe by staying away from crypto.
I don't know. I think it's been a losing bet because crypto's like these guys are probably going to be like the most splurgy because Bitcoin's at 100K. So what the hell do I know? um, we actually looked into booking a boat. So the problem is like everyone's focused around here, and then this kind of looks like a Bay Area, to be honest. Everyone's focused around here, and there's not that many houses. So NeurIPS for the last 2 years was really nice in New Orleans because New Orleans has a lot of big houses and a lot of like it's like a much more of a tourist spot than this. Here you just have like a few hotels, but like not much of nice housing. Like all the nice houses are down here. We actually almost booked this for Latent Space Live. It would have been really nice, but I don't think. Like basically, I wanted to make it easy for people to transition back and forth, like literally walking distance. So I had to keep here. So we're just going to Asia Pacific Hall. Simon Fraser. Oh, nope. Wask Center. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, like you just had like people basically just camp here for a week. And they just talk. They don't really leave the area. They don't really visit the rest of the town. I feel like we should. I feel like we should kind of use it to explore Vancouver, but usually you're just there for the conference. That's about it. All right, I think I'm
We
run
get
out
a
of.
car.
Huh?
So we get a car, explore something at some point one day.
So our place is around here. Yeah, we have a parking spot. We can drive around.
Yes. Oh, we can
They
get a
have
car.
solid-
We can even do day rental.
They have
Yeah.
solid bus routes as well. Like when I was there for TNCF conference, something like that years ago, and just you could get around almost anywhere by bus. Just use Apple Pay to pay for it and walk on.
There you go. There you go. Cool. All right. Anything else? I feel very awkward.
Thank you for your session.
No, thank you for this. Extremely relevant for Sam. Reminds me why I don't go to academic conferences, but the parties sound fun. But no, good times. Anyone have a topic they want to bring forward for next week while we're here? I guess it will be
You want
NeurIPS
to do
week.
another recap?
You can do a recap. Exactly.
Do a minute. Sorry, I won't do.
I will be very, very recapped out.
People, you
But
can recap.
it's
But I
hard.
don't know how I'll do.
There's no fucking way you'll see all of it. Like it's just no way. Yeah. All you can do is try.
Words of wisdom.
All right, let me stop the thing.
Awesome. Well, thank you. If anybody is excited is going to be there, wants to do a recap, Sam, I don't know how much you're going to see versus how much you're going to be just stuck in the booth. But if you want to do a recap, that could be fun for folks and just give people a taste what it's like being there as well as what it's like prospectively. Alternatively, I know we've been jamming in the channel about some possible topics, so we can kind of play it by ear and figure something out for Friday. But awesome. Thank you all. Thank you, Swyx. Thanks, Vibu, for